on the back burner to supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Your Business. And are you putting things on the back burner when it comes to supersizing and growing your business? Maybe because of COVID and all the changes that have happened in your business, there have been projects and plans that have had to change, and things that you really wanted to do in 2020 haven't happened yet because they had to go on the back burner. This expression, this phrase, comes from cooking, when stoves, and pretty much all of us have at least seen a stove, whether we cook or not. Each stove has burners. Used to have gas burners, now they have electrical burners, now they have surface, touch, all different types of stoves and burners. I don't cook as much as I used to, but when we first started in the Italian food business, we actually boiled big giant pots of water when we made our handmade ravioli. Of course, over the years, we got a little bit more technological with our ravioli manufacturing, but in the beginning, we had pots on the stove, and this ravioli, or the water that was just heating up, was on the back burner. The things we didn't have to pay the most attention to, we would put on the back burner. The things we needed to pay the most attention to were on the front burners. They were in the front of our mind. They got the most of our attention. You'll see the same thing if you've ever watched a cooking show or a chef show, or been to a restaurant where you've watched someone cook for you. The things they need to pay the most attention to are right in front of them, and the things that are less important, that are less urgent, go to the back of the stove, the back of the equipment. Same is true when you're cooking over a fire, right? If you want something to cook fast, it's right down there in the flames, in the fire, in the heat. Other things can be up on different shelves and things. Same thing is true of grills. But the whole point is, you take the heat away from the things that are less important, and you keep your attention and the heat on the things that that are urgent and important for you and your business. The same is true in our businesses. It's in our relationships in our lives. Have you ever been in a relationship where you knew you weren't the priority for the person? Whether it's a job or a personal relationship, you know, based on the choices that someone makes and the things they say and do, where you really fit in the priority list or in the scheme of things with respect to that particular person's attention. Whether it's a vendor or a supplier or a regulatory agency, how much attention they pay to you shows you clearly how much of a priority you are for them. For example, in the Italian food business, we had a USDA inspector in our plant every single day that we were manufacturing and producing products with meat in them. And we could tell how high a priority our business was based on how long, how often, mostly how long our USDA inspector would spend in our plant. And guess what? We weren't a really high priority plant because we never had a challenge. We never had an issue. They knew we were doing things that were above and beyond what was required for product safety, for law, for sanitation, for everything. So our USDA inspectors could pop in, do a quick check our numbers, check our surfaces, verify our processes and procedures, and then be on about into different businesses where they needed to pay more attention because they didn't have all the processes and procedures and things in place. They did have violations. So you can tell where you fit in anyone's attention or priority order, pecking order. I like to say pecking order, based on what kind of attention they're paying to you, what kind of results you're getting from them in terms of communication. If you think that, and of course there's a spectrum of people and behavior, but if your significant other or some love interest is paying almost no attention to you, not communicating, behaving cold and aloof, you might find out that they actually have placed their attentions and their affections elsewhere, and that you are no longer their priority. How do I know this? Been there, done that. Things happen. So what are some other ways of saying on the back burner? And what do you do? And it's important that we intentionally place things that are of a lower priority on the back burner. We also need to take things that really aren't important or necessary or urgent, or even things we should be doing in our lives and in our businesses, and actually just throw them in the wastebasket or let go of them. Decide consciously that we're not going to do them. We're not going to follow up on them. I've done a lot of that in the last year with COVID-19 and all the changes and all the craziness that happened for everyone on the planet, including me. And I feel like I was one of the least impacted people on the planet. There have been a lot of changes even in my life, and things that were important to me at the beginning, the first week of March in 2020, by the third week in March of 2020, they were gone. They were history. They were out of my attention and my awareness altogether because they weren't going to move me in the direction I wanted to go. And then as COVID and the regulations and all the craziness happened here in America over the last year and continues to happen and continues to leave people confused, I want to say dazed and confused because there's so much misinformation going around. If you watch it, you will feel dazed and confused and stupider for having watched the news. Never in my life, I guess I quit watching the news in the 1980s because I realized it made me feel less intelligent by watching the news and less informed. And that was before the internet, right? Way before the internet. There's other ways that you can say or express on the back burner. I actually say and have said in my life, in my work life, in my personal life, hey, put that on the back burner because we're not going to work on that right now. It's not a priority. Or if you want to work on it, you're not going to get the resources that you might want because it's not a high priority. It's not important or urgent for the business right now. Is it a cool, fun project that we'd like to do? Yeah. But are we going to devote time and energy and resources to it at work or in the business? No. But if you want to on the side or something, go ahead and pursue that. But for right now, it's on the back burner. It is, we're going to put a hold on something. We're going to hold in abeyance, meaning we're not going to work on it right now. We're going to delay, we're going to postpone, we're going to stay of execution is the one I remember when I hear that. We're going to lay it on the table. We're going to continue, or we're going to do it on a contingency basis. We're going to suspend activity. We're going to hold up. We're going to, I'm going to cheat and look at some of these. We're going to stall, and there's like 106 other synonyms for on the back burner. But I like on the back burner because it's very visual. It's easy for other people to understand. And I think when I say, hey, we're going to put that on the back burner in a meeting, people automatically know, boom, that just went to the bottom of our priority list. And if you're going to spend your time and energy and attention on that, that kind of tells you where you fall in the pecking order and the priority list as well. Have you ever had to put things on the back burner? If you started your own business, I guarantee you've had to make choices and decisions. A lot of people like to say with respect to our businesses that we have to sacrifice and have a pay price to action and we have to, give up all these things. But I argue, and I argue because it's worked in my own life, that if I am choosing, if I'm deciding, if I am picking among alternatives, I'm letting the world know what my priorities are. Now, it doesn't mean they should have been my priorities always as I've grown up in my life, but it's what they were at the time. When I was working all the time, when I was in corporate America running businesses on the side, and I had a young family at home, and I was traveling, I traveled 24 times I went on 24 trips in like a 3-month period. It was insane. And I missed every holiday, my anniversary, the kids' birthdays, everything that year. And I realized that I was choosing that. I was choosing my work and my career over my family. And then I made some choices and some changes after that. But that was my wake-up call that maybe my things that I was putting on the back burner, like my kids and my family, were more important to me and should have been a higher priority. But I still did that. And that's how I learned that lesson. But we do that with our businesses. We especially do that with our businesses. We make choices that other people wouldn't make to grow and create something that we want to create in the world. And that to me is not a sacrifice. That's a privilege. It's not something that I'm giving up, or it's not my fear of missing out on something. It's something I'm choosing because it feels right for me. And to me, that's never a sacrifice. I'm not sacrificing, and I never sacrificed my kids or my husband because I missed a couple of holidays and celebrations with them. We always had Christmas. We always had our anniversary celebrated. Maybe it wasn't celebrated on the exact day, but does that really matter? I learned that we have to look at our overall life and make choices and decisions based on that and decide what is on the front burner and what's on the back burner. And it's going to be different for each and every one of us, for each and every one of our businesses. But our priorities and our vision and our principles and our purpose and our core values, those things need to be on the front burner. Those things need to be the things that we're paying attention to. And there's so many things we think we have to do that we absolutely positively don't, that we can delegate, we can let other people help us do. Love to know your experience with this particular expression, on the back burner. Have you used it? I definitely have used it and continue to use it, especially around Thanksgiving and holidays when I say put that on the back burner because we don't need to pay attention to it. We're on the bottom shelf, right? All right, have an awesome day. That's our expression. That's our idiom for today. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how can you use it in your business right now? Take care.